the spotlight, hit that light. No cap, no filter, we take flight. Saints on the rise, got that energy. Tune in to our podcast, feel that synergy. New Orleans pride, we never fall. Subscribe to the vibes, we gon' ball. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. Yo, we and Camaro run that play. Crystal Love and flying, making waves every day. Take some heels, switch it up, always on the go. Cam Jordan the fans, putting on a show. Do Mario with time, bringing that heat. Shaheed's got the speed, can't accept defeat. Subscribe, hit that bell, join the hype train. No cap, no filter, we breaking every chain. In the heart of the city, Saints reign supreme. Live the dream, we living it clean. So stay tuned, don't miss this ride. With the Saints by side, we take pride.
All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G. It's been a minute. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's joining the stream right now. We got Brian back on the show, man. We got Marlon back on the show, man. How y'all feeling, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Life is good, my G. Life is good.
All right, man. We know we got to get into this Saints draft, man. We're going to get right into it. B, I'm going to go ahead on and start with you first, man. Overall, man, what's your thoughts about the Saints draft, man? How you feeling about the picks that we made, overall? Everybody, had time to sleep on it. Everybody had time to really analyze it and process it, man. What's your thoughts?
I'm confused, bro. Because, for me, outside of Kelvin Banks, I don't really see any starters out of the group. It looks like they drafted a bunch of depth pieces. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's a possibility that Chuck could start. And, I mean, he's not really somebody I would, bank on being, the next big thing as far as, at the quarterback position. So outside of, Kelvin Banks, you really don't have any starters. And I think that's the most confusing part because Mickey Loomis and Kellen Moore went into this telling us, this wasn't going to be a rebuild. This was more of a reload. And everything outside of that looks very much rebuildish. This looks like depth pieces.
Oh no, I'm not
to a
playing.
team. And for me, man. Wait, what you say, fam?
Oh no, my fault.
All right, we good. But for me, man, I really feel like, bro, I'm still confused on exactly what it is because there's still some needs that the team didn't address. Like for me, Juwan Johnson is not a TE1. So, and you didn't address it in the draft. Brandon Cooks, Rashid Shaheed, and Chris Olave are all the same player. You still don't have a big body wide receiver, and you didn't even get one in the undrafted pool. So unless the Saints plan on making a trade or something that we don't know about, I know there were rumors that George Pickens from the Steelers, could possibly be available, something to that effect, man. Or maybe they'll try to sign Keenan Allen or something like that. Like maybe it's possible, but as of right now, to me, the Saints didn't really lead the draft with any starters, and I think that's the confusing part. So I'll give Kellen Moore and Mickey the benefit of the doubt as to what they can do, as far as depth is concerned. But this team is just as shitty as it was before the draft.
That's a solid assessment right there. I kind of feel like the same way, man. I had made a post on Twitter that I was like, man, I wish the Saints had drafted off of production instead of potential. And I was more so talking about the quarterback pick that we took at 40, just like how we took Davenport, just like how we took Peyton Turner. It's usually that one pick that okay, this going to make or break this draft. And I think Shuck is the pick that's going to either make or break this draft. Did we pick some solid guys, depth-wise or whatever the case may be? Yeah, I think we did. I like the Neal pick. I definitely like the pick, the linebacker from Oklahoma. The safety, Kellen Moore was talking about, he see him as a special teams guy. Like, why did you get a special team guy with the third pick? Like, I don't understand it. And not to mention the safety that the Falcons had had more production than him. So a lot of times they just be drafting guys, over the RAS score or what their team leader or how many years they've been in college over just straight production. And that's one thing I don't be understanding. But Marlon, what you think about the Saints draft so far, after sleeping on it a few days?
I mean, I like the Banks pick. I know people early on was talking about we need to go get like Tyler Warren, all that. You got to be a good team to take a tight end in the top 10. And Tyler Warren wasn't even the best tight end available, as we've seen in the draft. The dude from Michigan was better, but like I like taking Banks because I think Banks is a good player. I think he like a probably like a version of like a Will Campbell because these dudes is 5 stars out of high school, started at left tackle at big schools like LSU and Texas, immediately as freshmen and played for 3 years and was team captains. So I like that pick. I hate the process that led you to that pick and the failing on Trevor Penning. And so now you gotta instead of us like adding adding the wide receiver potential, I don't think it was a wide receiver worth the ninth pick in this draft. But like we not that type of team build where we can just go add a wide receiver to be the 1A, 1B with Chris or something like that and like have a good wide receiver run because we gotta make picks to replace the failed picks that we had in the past. So
Yeah.
I like the Banks pick because he's gonna be a really good player. I just hate the process and like just going into a Banks more like he cannot play guard. I don't care if it's just a 1 year thing. Trevor Penning is a bad player. He's a bust. He gave up the most pressures like as any right tackle in the league. Just move on or let him get in the guard competition. They need to play Fuaga at his right position and play Banks at his right position. And that's how I need to keep it going forward. I made my comment on the quarterback. I hate the pick. Um, I mean, he's the starter, so I mean that's their starting quarterback at least. But like, I hate the pick, and I feel like we'll be drafting another quarterback very high next year because this team gonna be picking in the top five. Far as like the defensive tackle, I mean, I think it was a good pick, but it was like 6 players available that I preferred over that defensive tackle, and that's my thing on him. But hopefully, I'm wrong. I like Sanker. I like with having Eric Reed, I kind of like. I would rather have gotten Xavier White with having Eric Reed already on the team. But like Sanker, that's a dude that's going to be a starter down the line. Like I can see him by November taking over potentially for Tyron because it's dark for Tyron right now. I ain't gonna lie. The linebacker, I like the linebacker. I think he can another player that can get snaps. The corners, I like him. And I like the running back Neil, even though he's slow. I like him because he's a good. He's just a good football player. He's just slow. I mean, we wish we had a faster running back, but my problem is like you came into this draft with you left this draft with no wide receivers or no tight ends. Like, I mean, you got a tight end in the 7th round, but like you got like it was some wide receivers to get that was available that I thought would have went late in the second that was available in the 4th round, and you had 2 chances to get them, and you just didn't get them. And like B said, Jawan not a tight end one at all. And then like Brandon Cooks at this age is more of like he like an insurance he like a 3/4/insurance policy. And like you didn't add any variety to the room. It can't just be, oh, these guys got hurt. They're not gonna get hurt this year. Like again, like Chris injury from last year, like we can't predict a concussion. Like that was a bad ball. Like we can't predict that type of stuff. But like you haven't added any variety to the room, and you got a new quarterback and didn't do that, and that's a problem. And like another thing, I got people talking about like the Keenan Allen's, bro. Keenan Allen will make you overpay him to like listen because bad players accomplished in the league like Keenan Allen, they're not gonna want to go to a bad team like the Saints. So like they're gonna make you overpay. Like Amari Cooper, I watched him quit last year, at least on a bad team like Cleveland. And then when he got to Buffalo, he just wasn't good. Like these guys, they more names than they are like beneficial to the team. And I just don't get my problem with the draft is really like the quarterback pick. I hate that, but like at a certain point, man, you gotta add pass catchers to your team. Like it can't just be undrafted free agents and depending on like one dude that was drafted high, whether it's like a Michael Thomas in his day or a Crystal Olave to just lead wide receiver rooms because teams just not built like that no more. They bringing like a bunch of weapons in.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the quarterback position, man. The quarterback room right now. Mickey Loomis has said that if Derek Carr is healthy, he's quarterback one. Nick Underhill, he's basically suggesting that Shuck is going to be the starter week one. So things are up in the air right now. We don't know what's going on, but B, how you feel about the whole thing that's going on with Derek Carr? He just had some type of thing going on in Vegas where he was kind of like talking about the situation on stage to a group of people, but he's not in New Orleans. Like, and then Suck, he's going to be 26 when the season starts. On top of that, he has a little bit of injury history. On top of that, he's been in college 7 seasons, and he only lasted 1 full season out the 7 seasons. So it's like you don't really know what you're going to really get out of him as far as production. How do you feel about the quarterback room, with all those things involved and us using the 40th pick on him?
Well, first of all, I think it was a mistake to take him at 40. I understand what it was. The Saints panicked. That was their guy. That's the one they identified all along, and they panicked with the Derek Carr situation. Now, mind you, they were still going to take a quarterback anyway, but they panicked when with the situation with Carr because they didn't anticipate Derek taking the lengths that he would take to get out of New Orleans. This is the person that told you he don't want to be here. And instead of you heeding to that and was like, okay, you're gone, Mickey just won't. It's like he won't admit that mistake. He can't admit it because if he does, he looks stupid. Well, you look stupid either way because now you've got a quarterback that's essentially doing everything he can to get out of his contract and get to a new team. So with that being the situation, Derek Carr seems to have time to do everything else but show up to New Orleans. He didn't show up for the Super Bowl festivities. He hasn't showed up for the off-season training. And I'm like, okay, even if you cannot train yourself to show up to the facility, but you got time to go, shoot a YouTube video, and let's call it what it is. I don't know who the hell lied to Derek Carr, but both him and David have the personality of watching grass grow. Like this, that was never going to be an entertaining show because Derek Carr is not an entertaining person. And everything about him just reads, of I suck, and we know this because we watched you for 2 years now. So it's a situation to where Derek wants to leave, Mickey won't let him go because if he does, he looks like a fool. And now you compound the problem by drafting a guy at 40 who's essentially what some would call a bridge quarterback because, as you just stated, he played 7 years. Hasn't done anything, and I'm weary of guys who get hot at the right time. It's always one of those dudes that you really don't hear about for the whole season. Then they go to the Senior Bowl, or then they kind of get hot in bowl and for the bowl game, and all of a sudden now they're the new hot name in the draft. Jackson Dart comes to mind. Now, mind you, Jackson got a little bit more skins on the wall, but ain't nobody. I just because I ain't been on Twitter for 2 months don't mean I ain't pay attention. Nobody throughout college football season was saying, "Man, Jackson Dart a first-round pick." You know what? You want your franchise to be great? Go get Jackson Dart. Nobody was saying this. Nobody heard of Tyler Shuck until it was draft time. We heard the same names over and over again. It was going to be Cam. It was going to be Shador. Mix in who you want to here and there. But Tyler Shuck and Jackson Dart wasn't really it. Jalen Muro maybe. So it's the same thing, man. I don't get it. And on top of that, Nick coming out basically saying that, yeah, he's pretty much the projected starter. It's like, so what the hell happened with Spencer? What did Spencer do between last season and this season to make you say, you know what, to hell with him, to hell with Jake Haener, to hell with Derek Carr, Tyler Shuck is going to be our starter. And here's the thing. You better be right. If you're Kellen Moore and Mickey Loomis, you better be right. Because Kellen Moore, I don't give a damn how big his teeth are. You ain't got enough choppers in the game to be able to sit down and tell me he can start 0-3, 0-4, and the Who That Nation ain't gonna turn their back and say, get him the hell up out of here. Send his ass back to Philly. So he better be right about Tyler Shuck because that's his guy. You watch the pick of Kelvin Banks in the draft room afterwards. It looked like a funeral up in there. Then you watch the pick of Tyler Shuck, and everybody was shucking and jiving at that time because they were just happy as hell to get him in the program. You better be right, because if you're wrong, it's a mistake. And I've heard a bunch of people try to make excuses. Well, he's had broken bones, and that's a little bit different. No, the hell it's not. Injury
Exactly.
prone is injury prone. I don't give a damn how
Exactly.
you got injured. Injury prone is injury prone. So no, and I don't believe like he has enough starts under his belt to justify the pick. But that's just me. I believe he has what 20 starts to his career. That's not enough for me because college football is what 13 games a season. That means you ain't really played 2 seasons yet. It's not hitting with me. It's not. I'm like Rainey.
I think it's
I don't
like
like the pick.
30. It's like 32 starts over 6 years, but this is the first year he like stayed healthy, and he stayed healthy in 2020. And like, but they only had like 6 games because that was COVID year, 6, 7 games.
Yeah, and with that being said, that's not enough for me. Like I need to see it more. Like who's the cat man that played at Penn State a while back? I want to say it might have been like Hackenberg or somebody like that. He got hot like right before the draft, and then you never heard from him again. So it's like I'm always weary of dudes like that, man. If you ain't been balling, like we all saw Joe Burrow coming. We saw it coming. We saw Jaden Daniels coming. Not because they played at LSU, but because we had a chance to kind of watch them grow into the players that they were. Now I understand that's two guys who came into the league, tore it up and stuff like that, man. So it's kind of hard to call them the rule. They're more of the exception. But it's happening more and more and more now. We're seeing rookie quarterbacks coming and able to ball out, and they're usually you can see them coming before they're there. I ain't nobody was talking about Tyler Shuck, man. I'm sorry, it wouldn't happen like that. And first of all, he got to change the way he spell his damn name because that is not Shuck. I don't give a hell what he say. That's not no. What I can see is after the first quarter of the season, after the first 4 games or 3 games, I can see somebody with the headline saying, "Oh shucks, the Saints have fucked up again because they got a bad quarterback."
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or it could go the other way if he doing good. But, oh shucks! So it's a different kind of ways you could play on the name.
We're not even gonna pretend that won't be another way. The Saints gave him no help on offense. If anybody out there thinking Juwan Johnson is gonna all of a sudden magically turn into basically the second version of Jimmy Graham because Kellen Moore is here, they lying to themselves. Juwan ain't did a damn thing to prove that.
I never seen Jawan Johnson have a meaningful snap. Like when the games, like even early in the season, early in the season when like fans got hope. Like I watched, I seen Olave and Shaheed, they had meaningful snap when the games, when the team had hope last year. I never seen Jawan Johnson produce any meaningful play in games that matter. It's all games in December when the season was over or and stuff like that against like teams, they might be, I'm not saying they resting players, but it's just never been a meaningful snap that I've ever seen them like produce anything positive in. So I don't know where the hell it's gonna come from unless they believe all the receivers gonna stay healthy, but I don't know.
They got 3 receivers that can never stay healthy. Brandon Cooks has a
Yeah.
bad injury history. Chris Olave, if Derek Carr starts, serious stuff. If Derek Carr starts, I think Chris Olave might request a trade. That whatever that connection is don't work, and every time it happens, it ends badly for Chris Olave. I could see Chris Olave requesting a trade if Derek Carr is QB1. I could definitely see it. And Rashid Shaheed, speed out this world, can't stay healthy. So for me, I'm like, I don't see it, man. I just don't see. I'm
Came
willing to
in.
bet this. I'm willing to bet Jawan Johnson will have more TikTok videos than receptions this year. Him and his little colonizer gonna get on TikTok, and that's how it's gonna be. Keep siding with the oppressor. That's why your ass can't play well.
Yeah, man. I agree with you when it comes to the injury thing with Shuck. Like they always say, oh, it's not soft tissue, it's not reoccurring. It was just some unfortunate thing that can happen to anybody. Well, every injury is unfortunate, and every injury can happen to anybody. If you injury prone, you injury prone. So you drafted an injury prone player that's going to be 26. And he's going to be 27 if Derek Carr starts this last year. Like it just don't make sense to me. And you did it at 40 when you could have got a player that could, come in and help contribute to the team right now and start and help out a Spencer Rattler or whoever the quarterback going to be, Or you could have just took Shadur. Like, what's your take on that, B? Like not taking Shadur at good value of 40.
I think it was a mistake, man. I think everything was there for them to take Shadur. And like to be honest with you, I don't know what happened. Like I don't know what was the difference between. Nobody ain't gonna sell me on the idea of he's too cocky. Baker Mayfield, cocky. Johnny Manziel, crackhead. You ain't, they've had other players that have had, charges out the ass. You ain't about to tell me that all of a sudden it was just Shador's cockiness that rubbed you the wrong way. Man, knock it off, bro. I'm not buying it. This came across as not only are we gonna teach you a lesson, we're gonna teach your daddy a lesson, and we're gonna put out a collusion hit, and we're gonna tell every team they better not draft you. And the only thing that changed, to his credit, the only thing that changed might have been Agent Orange coming out and basically being like, "What the hell is going on in the NFL?" Because if Agent Orange is sitting there trying to back up, Shador, that's a problem. So for me, and if you pay attention, Cleveland took a quarterback before they took Shador. They took Dylan Gabriel. And at that moment, they could nobody in the NFL could justify not picking Shador because there's no way in the world Dylan Gabriel, who is all of 4'11" at quarterback, should have got drafted before Shador. And I'm lost on I believe Colorado had the most wide receivers taken in this draft, if I am mistaken. Who the hell was throwing them the ball? Because if you can get that many people in the NFL, they had to get the ball some type of way. Shador has done nothing wrong. And for me, what pissed me off the most is Mickey Loomis coming out saying, "I'm surprised he lasted that long." You gum chewing, coke snorting, weirdo. Like I'm like, I don't get, like, what the hell? Like, did you really think that was gonna go by? You are okay with Mr. Mascara being QB1, but for some reason Shador wasn't it. But here's the crazy thing, fellas. I knew it wasn't gonna happen. In the history of the Saints, they have never taken a quarterback in the second round until Tyler Shough. They've only taken one quarterback in the first round, one quarterback in the third round. And here's the thing. They've never drafted a black quarterback. I'm not surprised. This is par for the course. I'm not surprised at all. The only reason the Saints have ever had a black quarterback, traded for Jeff Blake, traded for Aaron Brooks, and they had a dude named Adrian McPherson a while back, man, that they got him, like, I think it's like an undrafted free agent or something like that. Now they got Spencer Rattler when they drafted him in the 5th round, and he's what we used to call mixed. He biracial. So I'm like, no, it's not happening. This ain't the Saints. They were never going to take a quarterback in the first round, not no black one. And they damn sure wasn't going to take a black quarterback in the second round. I'm not surprised. And I don't want to hear nobody talking about I'm race baiting. Facts are facts. Get out your feelings.
Yeah, man, I said the same thing. Like, how they gonna say Shador got this quote unquote attitude narrative and not a team first guy and all this and all that, yet you kissing Derek Carr ass. That's ironic as hell to me. That is ironic as hell. Marlon, he already predicted that. He already took his last snap, which I hope is true. I just don't know when it comes to Mickey Loomis, because it just seems like yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think Derek Carr is taking his last snap for this reason and this reason only. I think if by any semblance of the imagination that Derek Carr could come back and F up the Saints' plans, he will. Because that's exactly what he's done thus far. That leak did not come from Mickey Loomis and the Saints. It came from Derek Carr.
So why you think he took his last snap, Marlon?
I just think it's over. I think the pick of Shough kind of put a little curtain on it. That's Kellen Moore guy. Again, I told you I'm not in the Shough. I'm not in the Rattler either, but I was comfortable with letting them start and just waiting it out to the next year's class. But they didn't go that route. But I just think that, like, it just needed to end. It never worked. I predicted it wouldn't work. I got caught negative for predicting it wouldn't work. But, like, I mean, I ended up being right, and you got to see the dude true colors. Like, and even I didn't listen to what he said today, but, like, and I'm not gonna, like, attack nobody religion, but, like, he kind of full of shit, basically. Whatever happened with him and his wife, I hope they get that. I hope that situation is clear. I'm not going at that. I'm just talking about the thing that he was preaching and all that about his injury and talking about it in the sermon that he was giving. I just think the dude is, like, just completely full of shit. But I just think it's over. I don't think with a new coach like Kellen Moore, you can't bring that back in the locker room. This dude wanted a pay raise to come back. Like, he was getting he was gonna get $40 million this year and wanted a pay increase. Like, according to reports,
pay increase to get traded though. A pay increase
like that's the only way he wanted to come back, is if you increase this pay. Like, come on, like you can't bring that stuff around your team or keep that around your team.
Clause too. That's the craziest part.
Yeah, like if it was me, like me personally, I just flat out They already paid the money. You have to live with the mistake you made. I would just flat out cut them, and then you just eating the whole contract on the cap in 2026. Or I would just like, or you IR them and tell them, hey, don't ever come back, don't ever show back up, around the team again, and then just do the post June 1 cut. But like, he can't be around that team anymore, and it needed to end this way because sometimes you gotta have like shit in your face or egg on your face to like to learn from your mistakes, and it needs to go just like this.
I don't think he's as injured as he wants people to
Oh,
believe. I think
oh,
what's going to
B,
end up
B,
happening. Yeah,
he ain't hurt at all.
yeah,
He's
that's what I'm
hurt
saying.
on the Saints. He's hurt, but he ain't
Yeah,
hurt
his
at
feelings
all.
is hurt. His feelings are hurt is what it
Yeah,
is. Because what I think happened was I think he had the meeting with Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore told him, look, we're gonna pick a quarterback. We're gonna pick him high. It could be first, could be second round. We're gonna pick a quarterback and we're gonna go in that direction. And from that point on, he got his little fucking feelings hurt. He started crying in his eyeliner. And I think that's what hurt him. That the eyeliner started burning his eyes while he was crying, and that's when he came up with the excuse about his shoulder. What I think is gonna happen is I think he's gonna end up getting traded. I think he's going to miraculously heal. And all of a
yeah,
sudden, there's going to be a report that comes out that says, well, Derek Carr was not as injured as we all thought originally, and the Saints are going to move him to Pittsburgh or somewhere like that.
yeah.
Well,
And
okay,
if we
well,
can get if we can get a fifth, sixth, 7th round pick, I don't give a fuck what they get. Just get something. But like they can possibly get something. I mean, like maybe a fifth because like he is free. But
okay, well, what about the people who saying, oh, he was just waiting to see what quarterback threat would they draft to see if he want to come back or not? Like by us drafting Shuck, then okay, he's good to play. But if we would have drafted Shadur, he would have been saying, oh, well, we got to get this trade done, or he's injured, or whatever the case.
That's the problem, though. You can't bet on that because I think Shuck is more of a Kellen Moore guy than Shador was, and we saw that. The Saints had the ability to draft Shador and passed on him. I think Shuck is exactly what they want. 6'5", 220. You know what I'm saying? They say, if he can learn how to play under pressure, he can make the throws and stuff like that. I think Kellen Moore is relishing in the opportunity to do this. This was Kellen's dude. So
I
if
feel like
anything,
I think Kellen wanted like how you say Shador not his guy and like a Shuck is his guy. It looks to me that Kellen want like a dude that more. I'm not saying he's Justin Herbert, but closely can resemble that a dude that can a big guy, or even if they're not big, they can move and they can throw off platform. And I mean, Shuck probably resemble that more than Shador does, and he has more natural athleticism because
I
Shador,
think
for some reason, was not blessed with Dion athleticism.
they wanted
it's
Cam Ward.
Oh
I
yeah,
know they definitely wanted Cam.
Cam Ward was the number one target, and I
But
told people, I said, man, I'm not even the biggest Cam Ward fan, but I would have took him at one if they into him. Like you would have had Cam Ward if you simply lost those games, that New York game and that Atlanta game. If you lost those games, you would have had the guy.
but they let Rizzy try to win games and stuff like that, man. I'd rather not lose to Atlanta, but there were some other games they could have crumbled on. I'm gonna say this: to me, when I'm not gonna sit down and say I've done a bunch of tape and film on him, man. I've watched enough to be able to say his NFL comp to me. I think Shuck plays like Carson Wentz. Whenever I watched him play, he kind of reminds me of Carson Wentz.
That's a good comparison. I
Who,
said
Shuck?
Tony Romo.
Yeah,
You said
I think Shuck reminds me of Carson Wentz.
That's a good
That-
comparison.
that,
I
to be
said Tony
honest,
Romo.
listening to like they said, like listen to the injuries that he got. He got all his injuries off They said his injuries was running off reckless plays. He broke his collarbone running into somebody, and then he never got surgery on it. He just let it naturally heal, and then he broke it again, like running into somebody. Then he broke his leg, like running. It was all like shit running, and that's how Carson Wentz was getting hurt on all reckless plays. So I can kind of see that.
That's I
Yeah.
mean, even when he's healthy, the way he plays, like the off script stuff that he does, like he reminds me of it. And yeah, the breaking your collarbone twice. It there's no bravery in that. It's pure stupidity. Like you are a quarterback. Running into a 275-pound DN is not really the smartest thing for you to do if you've already broken your collarbone once. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not. And the broken leg thing, I mean, here's an idea. A crazy concept. Slide and get your ass out of bounds. I mean, lift the players of the day. You know why I know that's true? Because we just saw the Mr. Mascara try to do that shit, leapfrog on 2nd and 1, and think that he was going to be able to make it happen. And now he's telling me his shoulder is hurting and he broke his wrist. Like, Crazy concept, I know, but you know your team might actually need you to be on the field. Maybe it's just
Mhm.
me.
And it's crazy because they comparing him to Derek Carr too, and it's like when Derek Carr
Well,
was on the
you
Raiders,
can
he
see
was kind of
shades.
moving. He was kind of moving,
You can
and then
see
when he get
shades
to
of
the
Carr.
Saints, we was like, damn, why he don't run the ball sometimes? Because Derek Carr have open
He don't
running
run the
room.
ball no more because he got his ass broken in half when he
Yeah,
was in Denver.
yeah.
Derek Carr had damn near like an MVP season, and it got cut short because he wanted to play hero ball just like he did, you know, his last game for the Saints.
Hmm.
And ever since then, he stopped running like that.
I ain't gonna lie, that 6'5", that kind of turned me on right there. We ain't have a quarterback 6'5",
Oh,
and I don't know
I
that.
never seen. I ain't see a. Shit, I ain't never seen a 6'5" quarterback with the
All
Saints.
right,
At least I can remember.
now let me ask y'all these two questions. Since Kellen Moore, since y'all think Kellen Moore said that's his guy and he stuck to his guns, do that give you a little bit more newfound respect for Kellen Moore? In because you know people are saying, oh, he's just gonna listen to Mickey, or people just saying he's just gonna be a puppet, or he ain't gonna have no backbone. Does that give you a little bit more respect for him because he stuck to his guns and got his guy and told Derek Carr that? You know, can, to what y'all are saying, you know. And the second question is, um, sure, I forgot the second question. I'll come back to it, but that's my first question.
To answer your first question, heavens no, heavens no, man.
Mm,
I'm not about to give him that. In the simple, it's simple. If that was the situation, it wouldn't have took everything that's happened right now. No, I'm not giving you credit for saying, okay, well, he stood up to Mickey Loomis. No, because it was the decision was made for you. Derek Carr made the decision for you. Kellen Moore didn't make that decision. When Kellen Moore first had his press conference, the first thing he said was, you know, Derek Carr's a good quarterback in our league. That's where he left it at. He was non-committal. The very next time we saw Kellen Moore talk, and it was after Mickey Loomis came back and said, "Nah, Derek's our guy." That's when Kellen Moore was like, "I had a talk with Derek. You know what? It's gonna be all positive. We're lucky to have him and all." No, 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 no. Stick to your boy. Look, if Mickey play with you, all you gotta do is bite him on his fucking neck. What are you doing? What are you scared for? Tell him you got a whole 4-year contract or whatever it is. If he fire you, you get paid, and somebody else gonna snatch you up immediately. No, you ain't gotta be scared of no damn Mickey Loomis. So no, I'm not. Heavens no, I'm not giving him credit for that. Because Derek Carr made that decision. Kellen Moore didn't. Mickey Loomis didn't. Derek Carr did. The minute they told Derek that they were going to draft a quarterback, and Derek said, "Oh, really? I'm out." And not only am I out, but I'm a leak to the press that I'm hurt. So now you can't. Even if they wanted to move him in that moment, they couldn't. And Derek had a bunch of stipulations. Well, if you pay me a little extra money, I'll accept a trade. Who the hell does that? Who did he think was going to give him 40 million plus another 11 between 11 and 20 million on top of that as a trade kicker to go to another team? Heavens no, I ain't giving that boy credit for that. Never. He got to show me.
what about you, Marlon?
What was the question again?
Uh, assuming that y'all think that Kellen Moore said, okay, well, this is my guy, I'm sticking with him. You know, we're gonna go in a different direction. Derek, we're gonna go ahead on and draft a quarterback early. Do y'all give Kellen Moore a little credit? You know, because everybody was kind of feeling like he's gonna be a pushover. He's not gonna have any backbone. He's gonna be a puppet. Listen to whatever Mickey says. Do you give him a little credit for that, or do you kind
I
of agree?
mean, it kind of showed that like maybe that was his guy. I mean, he got to make that pick, but again, like I told you, I just wasn't in the shuck to want to make that pick. But I
Mhm.
mean, they did it already. Um, I'm just in a with the Saints really, bro. I'm just in a wait and see because it ain't really they make every decision they make. Like I never agree with it, so I'm truthfully in a wait and see mode with them on everything.
Mhm. All right, my second question is: had the Giants took Shadur instead of Dart, and Dart was right there at 40, what do you think we do?
It would have been Shuck. It would have
Mm,
been Shuck. Shuck was like
mm,
somebody had told me like a month ago before. That's why I started to like it. Man, I'm like, bro, y'all like really into like a 26-year-old quarterback that had like one solid season at college at 25 and like but I just got told that like, yeah, man, they into they view Shuck as like their number one quarterback. Cam
yeah,
was the number two quarterback. Cam was one, and they at least would call to see what the price was on Cam, but like
yeah.
it was
Plus,
Shuck was always the guy. Like I even heard that like I was listening to something, and what's the guy, John Hendricks? He was like, man, they had this would made it really bad to me though. It's like I like Shador, but like I didn't need him. But like when you talk about they had what's the guy name? I heard that they had, Ward, Shuck, Dart, but like they had Quinn Ewers ahead of Shador, like that. And I'm like, Quinn Ewers, like, come on, be for real. But I mean, that's on them at this point.
Mm.
Yeah, man. I think Shuck was their 2A, if you, I mean, 1A, if you want to call it that. That was their number 2 guy, man, in the entire time. In fact, from what I'm just a dude that hit things from time to time. I mean, it looked like the calls, or the rumors about the Saints trying to make calls to get back into the first round, like that was legit. Like they if they could have got the 5th year on him, they would have. Him dropping to them actually just played in their hands even better because they were trying to. They let the draft come to them as they said, but like I said, to me, they got one starter out of this draft. So if Shuck turns out to ball, man, like congratulations, I'm happy for you. I didn't see it coming. I'm not gonna lie and say I was who that and high fiving when they drafted him because that ain't me. I didn't like the pick. I would have rather them do something different. To me, I would have rather them roll with Rattler next year and not pick a quarterback at all and get build as many weapons as possible for whenever you
Yeah.
have your quarterback of the future. All you gotta do is plug and play. But that's me. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. But if he plays well, so be it. Maybe there's something that Kellen Moore saw in him that I couldn't see. But when I watch him, I see Carson Wentz. So and I wasn't that big on Carson Wentz either. Like and crazy enough, Carson Wentz had one really good season in which he looked like an MVP candidate for the Eagles, by the way. So it's crazy. So maybe that's what Kellen Moore was thinking about because I think he was in Dallas when it was happening. So maybe he looked at Carson Wentz. He saw how Carson was busting ass until he broke his leg or whatever it was. And Nick Foles comes in. We all know the history of that. And maybe he looked at it and maybe like Rainey said, either he saw Justin Herbert or he saw Carson Wentz and was like, I can do something with that if I got my hands on it. And if it happens, cool. But I don't think Jackson Dart was ever going to be like that dude for them. I think they still would have took Shuck even if Jackson Dart was there.
Mm. Well, Desmond Ritter had got Atlanta Michael Penix Jr.
Mhm.
And maybe Tyler Shuck gonna get us somebody out this next year draft. And if we lucky, maybe Tyler Shuck just get us Tyler Shuck and we hit, because I'm a Saints fan. I don't know Kellen Moore. I don't know Tyler Shuck. So the reason I'm a root for them because it's the unknown. I'm gonna go into this season. I'm gonna give everybody a clean slate. I still kind of want Mickey fired, but at the same time, I want these dudes to do good. So if they do good, he's not going to get fired. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna give Kellen Moore, I'm gonna give Tyler Shuck a clean slate, and I'm gonna see what these dudes could do because they unknown. Dennis Allen and Derek Carr, I knew them. And I wanted them to fail. I ain't lying. I can't stand them dudes, bro. Like all this that's going on with Derek Carr. If he take another snap for the Saints, boy, I'm gonna be so pissed off. And that's gonna make the 40th pick even worse. It's gonna make it even worse.
I don't anticipate. Like I'm gonna say it like you. I'm not trying to see them fail, but I don't anticipate them succeeding not yet one. Like because again, like first of all, I'm actually shocked the Saints made all 9 picks. Now they needed to make all 9. But even when they made the picks, I don't feel like they did anything to really help the team moving forward. You added depth pieces to me. So I don't see, like, when you look at a draft and you got that many picks, especially like within the first 3 rounds, like you're supposed to walk away with a certified like stud. Okay, maybe Kelvin Banks can be that. Maybe he can be your anchor at left tackle. You move Waga back to right tackle. Now you got your bookends. You back to where you need to be. All right, cool. I can live with that. But the rest of the draft, you got to come away with a solid player and you got to come away with some consistent contributors. I don't see that. I don't see the consistent contributors. I see one possible stud, and I don't see nothing else. So for me, I don't think they're gonna succeed because I don't think they have enough, and I don't think they did enough in the offseason either.
I feel like they got Banks as a starter. Um, I don't know how y'all feel, but Shuck is starting. So Shuck's a starter. Now, I think I know my view on him is he's a bridge, so I ain't gonna consider him a long-term starter. Now, and other than that, I think Neil can be a contributor this year. And I think that Sanker, at least Sanker and Stinker and what's the guy name?
Studman,
Stinker Stutzman.
Figs.
I think they got a strong chance at least like halfway through the season to be getting like serious starting reps.
If
But
they getting
like
starting reps, we in trouble
no,
because
we B. We're a bad team. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's supposed to play out this way. That's why I'm not like to me, I'm not complaining. Like they are a bad team. So
I agree.
I don't have a problem with being a because we gonna get a top five pick next year. The question is, how high is the pick? How high is the
Yeah,
pick? And are you getting a top five pick in 2027 as well? Because I think they reached that point. Like, and this, to be honest with you, I was telling somebody like it sucked that it got here because it could have been avoided. They never had to like they didn't have to get to the bottom and out portion, but like they chose that route to get to the bottom and out portion. But like at this point, it's just are you gonna get out of it? And I think a lot of these teams, like if we see like a lot of these teams in NFL, they're built off the backs of top five picks. So I'm looking at it from the positive from that take. The Saints gonna get some that premium talent, like how New York, the Giants, they got Malik Neighbors next year or last year, and then they got Abdul Carter this year. Like that's how you build your team off like premium talent like that. Like I know we took, and I'm a big time Olave fan. Olave not a Malik Neighbors type of player. That's a top six pick. I can see with him. He's not a chase type player. He was a 11 pick. That's a top five pick. Like it's different. So that's kind of how you a lot of these teams when they building those superstar type players is based off like hitting on those high picks like that or dudes of that caliber. So I'm just looking at it like that. They're gonna get some very good players in the draft the next 2 years, whether it's another quarterback or a highly rated receiver, defensive end, like they're gonna get those level of players.
and
Um
here's the problem with that though, fam. If they pick like let's say they get a top five pick next year, and by first of all, I don't think Arch is coming out next year. I don't. But let's say Arch comes out next year and they're able to draft Arch, and Arch is everything you thought he was. Then that means that make like Marlon said earlier, that makes the Tyler Shuck pick even more stupid because last year you spent a second round pick on somebody you said was the guy, and that could have went to possibly a wide receiver, maybe you a tight end or somebody like that. That's where that pick, maybe even a defensive guy, because again, the players you're telling me about, Sanker can't cover, and Stoutsman can't cover. And guess what you got to face? You got to face a Michael Penix. You got to face a Baker Mayfield, and you got to face an improving Bryce Young. And that's just the NFC South. That didn't even count the rest of the teams you got to play against. So for me, I'm looking at it like you got to play. You got to go next year. You draft Arch Manning, and even if you get him in everything, that still makes Shuck look like a horrible pick. So for
yeah,
I
that's
just I can't co-sign. And if they if they are a bad team, and they will be, it's
that
like, can you count on the guys making the decisions to really build the team?
yeah.
I
That's
don't
my
think you
thing
can.
kind of yeah, that's my thing kind of on like Chuck. Like I just feel like it's just a you spent the 40th pick on a dude just to be a bridge guy, and I didn't want to spend the 40th pick on a guy to be the bridge guy. Like the second round picks, like the hit rate on them just is showing that it really doesn't work. Like
I
it's
think second round quarterbacks are like 04, like
yeah,
like or something like that. It ain't
it's
good.
like okay, it's Jalen Hurts. In the last 5 years, it's Jalen Hurts, and then after that, you got guys like I know we hate him, but like Derek Carr is your best bet. And then Andy Dalton is your best bet, which I mean they made money and they had like they put up stats, they had solid careers. And then after that, it's like Drew Brees.
Right. It ain't like the
So like
numbers
the hit
ain't
rate
good.
is just not,
Yeah.
it's just not, yeah.
So that's what. But again, we're talking about like we can't have it both ways when we say it. We can't say we think the Saints gonna get a top five pick and they have a chance to improve, and then think about the idea of Mickey Loomis is still in charge. And if they, even if they are like Momo Gale ain't getting rid of Mickey. We see that now. Unless Mickey
Yeah.
retire, he ain't going nowhere. And I think he gonna fail upwards, to be honest with you, because I think once Dennis Lauscher takes his swan sign and finally backs away, Mickey gonna take his spot. So I don't think he's going to fail, downwards. I think he's gonna fail up. And with that being said, the same dude gonna be in charge of making draft picks next year. And I'm just not comfortable with that because I'm not going to believe you're gonna be able to do it because I just watch you with nine picks, and not walk away with a wide receiver one. Even if you want to call Olave that, you got everybody on your squad that's a wide receiver that's 6 feet one and under. Like you can't be like I remember the Jets back when they had Chad Pennington. They had Chad at quarterback, who was like all of like 5 feet or something like that. Man, I want to say Chad might have been like 6'1", 6'2", something like that. But you had Lavernius Coles, 5'11", Wayne Corbett 5'11", and I want to say they had one more dude, and then they went and got Keyshawn later on. But like you had like 3 receivers on their squad that was like under 6 feet tall. Like what the hell were you gonna do with that? Unless you think
Yeah.
you're gonna throw slants all day long. And if my quarterback is 6'5", 225, he better not be fucking like if they thought Michael Thomas was slant boy, he better not be slant boy. He better not he better not be throwing slants all day long, hoping that Brandon Cooks or somebody gonna break a tackle and take it 65. That's not what you got a 6'5", 225 quarterback that they say excels at throwing a deep ball. If he excels at throwing a deep ball and you running, trying to do death by 1,000 cuts, something went wrong. By the way, as of right now, the Saints have virtually no running game. I know people like Neal, but it's what you said earlier. He might be productive, but he's slow as hell. He's more of a fullback, even though he's a running back, than he is an actual running back. He's not fast enough. He doesn't. What's the word that
I like
that
this.
Wolf?
This is my take on Neil. I like Neil, but like Neil, it's more of like an Alvin Kamara style, and you don't got no home run hitter on that offense.
None. But here's the crazy part of it. That I don't think there's a running back they have on the squad that can run at least a 4.5 now. Like none of them. And none. You can't. The word that Wolf and Adam like to use is juice. Where's the juice? Now I ain't gonna lie. I know orange juice when you walk in the store it's like $10 for a bottle. But damn it, the Saints could afford to pay it because as of right now you have none, and the only hope you have is 2 unproven commodities. One is Kendre Miller. The boy get hurt waking up. And 2 is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was on the Kansas City Chiefs, and they told him, "Nah, we good, bro. You go ahead."
I
Like,
don't think
I'm
Clyde
sorry.
matter. I just think that's a hometown thing.
And
Cause
my point exactly. My point
yeah,
exactly. So you have nothing at the running back position. Let's move to the tight end spot. Anyone? Anyone? You have nothing there. You got Foster Moreau,
yeah.
low-key racist, and and still hurt. You got Taysom Hill coming off a major injury, and he might not be back to midway through the season, and he's going to be, what, 36 at this point? So I'm like, you have nothing at the tight end position. And again, you have no wide receiver that's over 6 feet tall. So, over 6'1". So for me, it's like you don't have nothing at wide receiver, you have nothing at tight end, you have nothing at running back. Oh, by the way, you're doing a musical chairs on your offensive line. Cesar Ruiz can stay healthy. That's about the best thing I can say about it. But now you're moving Fuaga back to right tackle. You're moving Banks, who's going to be a rookie, at left tackle, and you still have a gaping hole at left guard. If McCoy goes down again, you're fucked. So, like, you mean to tell me you want to put a rookie quarterback behind that with no
Hey,
weapons?
B. This is a 26-year-old. He don't get all those excuses that we'll give a 22-year-old. So
I agree.
that's
I
up to
agree.
them.
I
That's
agree.
why I just said it's 17 games. Either he gonna show it, or you just move on. Again, I hate the pick, but that's how I look at it.
I completely agree with you.
Marlon, I mean not Marlon. B. Marlon said what he think our thoughts is going to be as far as Penning. He didn't get his 5th-year option picked up. What do you think we're going to do with Penning after
I,
getting
I, I
Banks?
I think the best thing for people to do with Penning is to use him in jumbo packages until it's time to get him out of there. Now, it's twofold. One, use him in jumbo packages. That way you can use his run ability to help you out on those goal line situations. Like if they want to do the tush push or whatever, or, it's 2nd and goal and you're trying to get Kamara in the end zone, you're bringing at the extra lineman. Use him in that capacity. Or you wait for somebody, to suffer an injury at tackle. It's going to happen. And you try to get something for him to recoup at least a draft pick that you can use to package maybe next year to move up in the draft, because I think the Saints will be a lot more aggressive because they'll have cap space next year. So it's going to be easier to see them be aggressive in the draft and in free agency when they got the cap to back it up. That being said, as far as him playing, he can't play guard. And I mean, respectfully to my dude, I'm tired of people saying that he can play guard. He can't. You can't handle these dudes on the outside. The last thing you're going to be able to do, because he don't have the power to stop them. The last thing you're going to be doing is handle people inside when you're in a phone booth and it's just you and them. To where you got to have help on the outside, somebody trying to chip, and there's nobody there. McCoy going to eat up blocks. Cesar Ruiz going to be there on the right side trying to do the same thing, and that's bad enough because you got to worry about him. They ain't going to be able to help him. So you put him in the middle if you want to, and watch how many times he on his ass. He can't play guard. And anybody thinking that he can is crazy. Now, maybe, just maybe, he'll surprise everybody. And maybe that's just a good spot for him. Because everybody thinking he can just pull his Andres Pete shit where he couldn't play on the outside. Maybe he can play on the inside. No, he can't. And I want to say, man, John Stinchcomb, who was, of course, former Saints right tackle. He was asked that question, I want to say maybe about a year ago on Matt Moscona show. And he was like, no, he can't play guard. And I was glad he said it because I've been saying it for the longest time. One, I said Penning was never going to be a left tackle. He was a right tackle. And two, no, he can't play guard. He's not strong enough. He's not fast enough. And you got to have him pulling in his new offense. He can't do it. You better hope he can do jumbo packages because when Dennis Allen had him, they wouldn't even put that boy in on extra points. That's how bad he was. They were scared he was going to be the weak link. No, he can't play guard. So respect to anybody that believes he can, but he got to show me. And I mean, not only show me, he got to go out there and be like an all-pro. He can't just be healthy. He got to be an all-pro.
That's a good point on that healthy point because I think that's why a lot of fans overrated his season last year because he played all the games when everybody or a lot of other people got hurt. The dude gave up the most pressures in the league for any right tackle, and we watched those games. He was getting the most help out of anybody. He got more help than Fuaga, who had never played left tackle and switched positions, and he was getting more chips than any of those guys on the line, and he still gave up the most pressure. So like, I just think
It,
I'm playing Banks at his left tackle spot. I'm moving Fuaga back to his spot that I know that Fuaga as a right tackle will be better than he is left tackle. I'm moving him back to his right tackle spot. Ruiz at right guard. I ain't the biggest fan, but he got his spot. McCoy, elite player, got to stay healthy, but he had his spot, and it would either be Penning either gonna have to try to compete to get a guard spot or to get that left guard spot, or he gonna have to become a jumbo lineman, like you should have, which is a James Hurst route, and that's probably the best thing for his career is to go to James Hurst route.
well, they just signed another James Hurst type of dude. I can't pronounce his last name. I forgot, man. They just
Oh
signed
no,
another
Radis is like a legitimate guard though. James
right.
Hurst, he had kind of turned himself in a way that can play. He can play like guard and tackle.
Yeah,
So he gonna compete with that guy for the guard spot, but
I think there are people in Tennessee
or
that
just try to be a jumbo
I
guy.
think people in Tennessee would disagree with you on that. He's a legitimate guard, but
Oh no, no,
now
no!
your point still
I know, I know, I
remains.
know, I know, I know. No, I'm saying he's not good at all. But I'm saying he's an actual
He's an actual
guard. That's what I'm
guard.
saying.
I got you on that
Yeah,
one. I got you. My apologies, bro. I understand.
he's straight.
But yeah, on that, man, yeah, I think that's his only hope, man. But what I would say is he's probably more likely to be trade bait later on in the season because I'm gonna tell you this, I would not be surprised if after some of these veterans start getting cut now that the draft is over, going into camp, I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints still bring in another offensive guard. It wouldn't shock me at all. They
Yeah,
just recently signed like a defensive end, edge rusher today, Rump. They just signed him. Now, mind you, I don't think he's, gonna come in and just basically be the answer. But I think, that's something Staley has a familiar relationship with him. So I think they'll do the same thing. I think when some of these veterans start getting cut, the Saints gonna bring in yet another guard, and I think that's gonna make the writing on the wall for Penning even be there. Mickey could tell me all day long how much he loved Trevor Penning. Boy, you a lie, and you ain't gonna fool me with that one.
Let me get to my next question. What do you guys make of the rest of the division, as far as the draft, compared to the Saints draft? Right now, looking at our draft, we got Vernon Brockton. He's going to be a space eater. You're going to pair him with that other guy that we got from the Patriots, the hometown kid. I don't know what that's going to mean for Bink, and I don't know what that's going to mean for Shepard, but we kind of know that Brazil, he's going to be a heavy rotating guy. Or he's going to be a starter. Diggs, he's going to be a guy that a lot of people going to have their eyes on because a lot of people are high on him for some reason. Stutzman, he already like a fan favorite. Quincy Riley, people say he's pretty good. Devin Neal, I think he's got some Alvin Kamara traits to him. I don't really know about him, catching the ball out the backfield, but he definitely has some good vision. He definitely has some good cuts. Home run speed, nah, but a lot of people feel like we got some dogs, but we don't got that flash. We don't got that. We don't got that.
Dogs.
Yeah, we got some dogs in depth, but we don't got
they
that
got dogs, but
juice.
you got to tell them what kind of dogs
Labucci.
they are. They ain't no Dobermans. There's a difference between having a Doberman and a Pomeranian.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. They got dogs, but they might be like Labradors. instead of being, German Shepherds. I'm sorry. Like I think Stoutman is gonna be a hell of a special teams player. I think he's gonna be one of them dudes that hit somebody on special teams and the crowd go, ooh, and everybody get juiced up or something like that. I think that's gonna happen. I think, Senka is one of those type of guys like that, man. But they don't have nobody that's gonna, like, even a dude that they drafted from Syracuse. I'm sorry, but when did they pick him again? Remind me when they picked him.
Did we get him
Like
at
7th
254?
round.
Yeah.
7th round. They're not counting on him to come in and be a starter. If he comes and he earns a spot, that's great. Let's be honest. He might not even make the damn team.
Yeah.
He just might not. So I'm not about to sit. I know fans love to get excited about the dudes at the end of the draft and the undrafted free agents and everybody thinking they're going to see the next P.R. Thomas and all of this shit, man. Look, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. The Saints may have made a name for themselves on getting undrafted guys. You know who was the guy picking those dudes? He ain't here no more. And he ain't been here for a couple of years now. So we can get rid of this with the old mentality of thinking it's just going to continue now that, Kellen is here. We don't know if Kellen can identify talent just yet. We don't know that. We know he can coach talent. We don't know if he can identify it. I'm not about to sit here and tell nobody that a 7th round pick going to come in and be our leading pass rusher or a great pass rusher at that. Hell, I don't even know if he's going to be good. I don't know if he's going to make the team. What I want to see is how it all plays out, because right now, I don't see German Shepherds. I don't see Rottweilers. I don't see Pitts. I don't see Dobermans. I see Pomeranians and fucking poodles. And until they change my mind on it, that's what they're going to be.
Yeah, man. I feel like the whole division, everybody getting strapped up, everybody preparing for war. We trying to meet at the fight. The Buccaneers, they went and got a barbed wire bat. The damn Falcons went and got a fucking rusty revolver. The damn Panthers, they went and got a machete. And the Saints showed up to that bitch with a butter knife. Like, I really just don't like the Tyler Shuck pick.
Butter knife? Man, that boy showed up with a spork.
Hey, man.
They got one of them plastic sporks from like Popeyes or something.
Exactly what they got, man. Them boys ain't clipped up. Like, I mean, we all know Michael Penix is going to start. Baker Mayfield and Tampa reloading. And Bryce Young towards the end of the season, man, the Panthers started looking like they had a little something. For me, when I look at the division, I think the Saints on the bottom looking up.
Yeah. I just don't like the Shuck pick. If they just took,
Hey,
go ahead. Go ahead, Marlon.
Oh, you got it, Marl. I'll go after you.
I just don't like the Shuck pick. If you just swap Shuck out with a good pass catcher that we all just wanted right there, or if you'd have just took Shedeur, but I'd have been pleased with this draft. I would have been so pleased with this draft. But to me, the value just ain't worth it. The worst investment I've heard idea since Rhythm Spoons. The worst. It don't get no worse than Rhythm Spoons. So they're gonna have to show me now. When week 1, do I hope he do good? Yeah, I hope he hit. But you can't justify this pick to me. I don't care if you any one of these Saints insiders. I don't care if you work for the Saints. I'm not one of them fans who just gonna and then I'm starting to see people on Twitter starting to post. Man, I looked at his highlights. Man, his highlights look better than Spence highlights. See, that's when you just be that fan and you just working yourself up to just hope the pick just be good and all this and all that. Like,
let me ask you a question.
Get me.
I don't mean to cut your knowledge, bro. Let me ask you a question. If I posted highlights of somebody, you think I'm gonna see negative plays?
Yeah, highlights, man. It ain't tape.
I'm sorry, but when most fans say they watch the film, that's what they're talking about, right? I went and watched this film, and now no, bitch, you went and watched the highlights on YouTube. Of course, he gonna look good on there. That's the whole purpose of them. Like, this shit is crazy. No, you did not. I hate when fans say I went and watched the film. Really? Which game did you watch? That's exactly my point. Don't tell me nothing about no damn YouTube. When you watch the film, you went and watch a certain game. Louisville versus, Duke or something like that. Tell me what he did in that game. Because if you can't tell me what he did in that game, you didn't watch the film. What you did was you went and watched his highlights. You saw him throw 2 or 3 passes, and all of a sudden now you're like, man, I like what I saw. You're supposed to. That is the actual purpose of a highlight package. Not sure if anybody understood that, but that's what it's for. So I mean, like, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna keep on shitting on the dude because I actually hope he does well for the Saints' sake. But at the same time, if he flopped, I won't be surprised.
Yeah. What you was about to say, Marlon?
Yeah, how you was talking about like the teams in the division, man. I was just looking at our team. I think the Saints the clear worst team not just in the division. I think they by far they easily the worst team in the NFC, like completely. I look at like I feel like if you told me every NFC team in a chance, like every NFC team in the league other than the Saints and the Giants, like made they pitch to make the playoffs. Like if you told me Carolina made the playoffs this year, that wouldn't shock me. If you told me the Cardinals, that wouldn't shock me. Like if you told like I feel like the Saints, like they one of the few teams, they the team in the NFC, they have no shot at all to make the playoffs. I don't think the Giants have a shot to make the playoffs either. But if the Giants can if I go look at their best three players, which is Dexter Lawrence, Malik Neighbors, and Abdul Carter now after they just drafted him. I mean, I know you gotta play, but like, I mean, that's a blue chip player when you get taken in the top three. Like, if I go look at those guys, that's better than any best three players that the Saints can put together. So I would take even the Giants over the Saints. So I just feel like this we passed being the bottom of the NFC, like NFC South. We the bottom in the NFC.
Let me back you up on that, Randy. Did the Saints play the Giants last year?
Yes.
And what did it take for the Saints to win that game? And the Giants were trying to lose.
I'm gonna tell you, that's one of the most rigged games I ever fucking watched in my life. That punt return that they called back, it was no flag on that play. You had to win on a block on a punt play that they called back in an illegal block, by the way, because they pulled the defender down, and that should have been a flag. That's how you had to beat Drew Lock. Like, and Malik Neighbors was hurt that day, and he played, but he was hurt, and that's how you had to beat them with your
That's my
starting
point.
quarterback.
So when you say that the Saints are the worst team in the NFC, I just wanted to back you up on it because if the Giants are vying for that spot and gonna be the worst team, and it took the Saints, basically, praying to to white Jesus in order for it to happen, then I already know this ain't gonna be nothing else but a repeat of that next year. And I think the Saints actually got worse this year until proven otherwise. So if they go out there and they shock me, so be it. But as of right now, I ain't buying it. I'm not buying that the Saints are a better team today than they were at the end of last season. I'm not buying it. Not even with the head coach, not with the additions that they made in the offseason. I'm not buying that they're a better team.
Because for me, with the team, like it's hard for me to name like I think it's like 5, 6 legitimate good players on the team. But it's like hard after you get beyond that point. And the thing about the 5, 6 legitimate good ones, like 4 of them is coming off injuries. After that, it's hard for me to start naming players. I think you got some solid dudes. Like I think Chase Young is solid. I think Carl Granderson is solid, but like actual good players on the team, it's hard. If you can name like 5 guys, and then 4 of them is coming off injury, and then another guy his role is kind of hard to like predict. Is he good or is it like his role such like that? So like it's
I,
just they at that point.
I don't even give Chase Young credit for being solid at this point because I want to see what he does now that he got his money. Like last year, you were playing for a contract and you couldn't even you couldn't even complete the deal. You got a lot of pressures, but you didn't come up with sacks. And we have to see how he performs in a 3-4 defense. A lot of these dudes got to perform now. Brazil, we talked about it ad nauseum last year. He was good against the as a pass rusher. The boy couldn't stop. He couldn't stop a nosebleed when it came to trying to stop the run. So for me, and now it looks like he's going to be playing outside on DN because I
I
can't see him playing in the
I
middle.
think I think no I think him playing. I was talking about that with a guy. He a Saints fan. He a coach. I think he like a D line coach or O line coach. To be honest, that 3-4 shit might save his life because he might be one of the worst 4-3 what they ask a 4-3 defensive tackle to do, he might be one of the worst in the league because he is literally a one down player that's a solid pass rusher. He's not a great pass rusher. He's solid and he can't play no other down. Like, so he needed the 3-4 probably more than anybody.
Yeah, and I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to play in the inside in the 4-3. I think he's going to play on
Yeah,
the
he
outside of
got to
that
play the
4-3.
outside.
Yeah. And with that being said, now you look at it. Well, who's his running mate? If you're gonna tell me Cam is gonna be on the opposite side and they're gonna have Garshaw in the middle, okay, cool. But that means you gotta have Chase standing up and Granderson standing up as your outside linebackers. So who's gonna play in the middle? DeMario and Pete Werner? Like anybody really think Pete Werner gonna be that dude?
I,
And
I
DeMario
think
played in the 3-4 with the Jets. He wasn't that good in the Jets in that
I
3-4
I
system.
think I think in a I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I know you kind of have your little thoughts on Stutzman. I think Stutzman gonna get a lot of reps because I think
And
you're gonna see
I think
early
he's gonna
on
be a
with
first. I think he's gonna be on first and second down, and then when it comes to now, don't get me wrong, that's not bad. If you can play him on first and second down and help him be a run stopper, I'm with
Yeah.
it. But
I
I
think
think the
the thing
problem
with
with
him,
that
he got to
is that
improve the pass. He got to improve on the pass. But I think even just me knowing college football and like watching it, like I feel like Stutzman was a better prospect, was a better overall. I know they went 2 rounds in between, or like 50 picks, because he went in the fourth at 112, and like Pete went at like 60. I think Stutzman a better like a better pro prospect coming out of college than even Pete Warner.
I agree with you. But the problem is that he's not gonna like what he did in college
Yeah.
not gonna matter because he got to play the pass. And here's the thing: when you have are you sold on Alontae Taylor on the outside?
Oh hell no. I don't think he can play if he not playing if he playing on the outside, I think that's the worst possible thing. He gotta play the slide. And I don't even
Bingo.
think he a great I don't even think he like a great coverage guy, but he gotta play the slide.
So who's gonna play on the outside? Because we know Kool-Aid gonna be on the outside. Who's gonna
Yeah.
be able? Because this is what you have right now that can't cover. If you put Stoutsman out there, he can't cover. You put Sanka out there, he can't cover. Jordan Howden, my God, I don't even know why he on the team. But now you got Justin
Man, you
Reed.
too low on Jordan Howard, man.
Jordan
I just said no. I just think I just view him. I view him as a backup. He for where he was drafted at. No, but for where he was drafted at, he probably one of their better picks of that 5th round because I actually think he's a solid backup. He gave us 2 picks last year. I think he had that. I think it's that play that's just like people just ain't gonna be able to get out their mind that Philly play, and then the shit in the preseason where he had to play and just missed it. But like I just view him. That's just me personally. I just view him as a solid backup player.
I believe he's a blind squirrel. That's me. And
Mhm.
I feel like that because when he came in, everybody was talking about. I mean, I talk to coaches. Oh, I think he's gonna be like the next Marcus Williams, minus the Nolan, minus the missed tackle. So I'm like, oh really? That's what y'all think? They were high on him, and that changed real quick when he had to get out there. Now, mind you, I think that had a lot to do with the fact that his processor wasn't working fast enough. He got injured, so maybe he didn't learn it well enough. And now you're gonna put him in a 3-4. Maybe the 3-4 saves him. Maybe it does. For me, he a special teams player shouldn't be on the field. But when you count Justin Reed, not necessarily a ball hawk, Honey Badger, 137 years old. Alante can't play on the outside, and if you put him in a slot, that's when he's actually decent, but he ain't like, he ain't all world there. So it's like, what do you have out there if you're gonna put linebackers out there that can't cover too? I'm like, I'm sorry, I ain't buying it. Like to me, that's why I say, man, I'm not saying Stoutsman is a bad dude. I just think he only gonna play on first and second down because you can't keep him out there on third down because you got too many dudes out there that can't fucking cover. And he's one of them. Now maybe he can learn because Pete Werner wasn't great either, and he's decent. But I mean, I ain't gonna say decent. He a blind squirrel too. Every now and again he do something good. But I mean, I'm not. I think he's a better player than Pete Werner. But I'm still not gonna sit there and be like, yeah, bro, Stoutsman that dude. I love his energy, but that's about
Yeah.
it.
I like the Sanker pick, but my thing on the Sanker pick is it feel like you added that physical presence to the team with Justin Reed. And like if you ask me, like a dude like Xavier Watts would have been perfect with a free
They need a
safety that
ball.
can play the ball hawk.
Yeah,
Like, and Tyrann Mathieu, like he done after this year. He done right now, but
he was
like
done
we
last
know
year.
he done after this year.
He was done last year. Badger, I love you, brother, but I mean, it's time. Put the fries in the bag, bro. It's that time.
Yeah, we got 22 people watching right now. If you liking the show right now, hit the like button and help out the channel. Please subscribe and help out the channel. B, when you get a chance, go ahead on and retweet the tag I post you in for the stream.
I bet.
But as far as
now, it's gonna
the
lock me out.
huh?
If I try to go now, it's gonna lock me out.
Oh, well, don't worry about it. Just do it when we finish. But as far as the other division, the other people in division, man, like the Bucks, they stacked up on offense. They got like 4 wide receivers over there, 3 running backs over there. Boy, Baker gonna have a fun year. The Falcons, they stacked up on defense like a mug. Like they ain't playing. They putting all their chips in on Penix to get that offense humming, and on defense, they locked and loaded. The Panthers, they did the same thing the Bucks did. They got all the help Bryce could get. They even went got Hunter Wentworth out of retirement, I heard, and that's the dude I wanted to get 2 seasons ago. But they got him to pair with Leggett and Tet, man. So that's gonna be something crazy to watch over there, along with Chuba. So man, how y'all feeling about the division gearing up? Like I know y'all feel like we the last in the division, but who y'all think gonna come out this division? Like, do y'all think it's gonna be a dog fight or what?
I think everybody else gonna be fighting except the Saints. The Saints, you know how they got the question going on right now. 100 dudes versus a gorilla. There we go, right there. Because I mean, it must be nice to have not one but two, wide receivers that's like 6'4", 6'5", and you're awesome. It must be nice to have that. I wouldn't be able to tell you,
Must
but
be
I
nice to
Them
believe
have
that's
what
what
the
it
niggas
Bucks
is.
got, but the Bucks got three running
and the
backs and
Bucks
four
got
wide receivers. That's
the
crazy.
Bucks. The Bucks. Fuck, they fourth wide receiver feel like he could be our two off of like just his skill set alone. Like it's just then they offensive line. They got one of not just the best offensive line, like best tackles in the league. They got one of the best offensive linemen on their team. Period. Then you got like a Hall of Fame receiver. You got Bucky Irvin. Hell, they got talks to trading Rashad White because they can if they want to. Like
Yeah,
they, yeah. Even
they
their
got a
defensive picks, like
they
the
got a
guys they
huge defensive tackle next to
like. Nah, he ain't that dude. He's undrafted. He ain't playing. He got so much weight to lose. He too damn big. But
But it must be nice to be able to be in a position to where you can be like, we can do certain things offensively, defensively. The Bucks have won the division consistently, so they're just adding on to it. They had, they got Baker Mayfield when the Saints needed a quarterback, and Saints gave Derek Carr all that money, and Baker was right there. Could have kept Jameis. Jameis out there living his best life, being ambassador for the city. Making people love New Orleans all over again. If anybody won the Super Bowl, it wasn't the Eagles. It wasn't the Chiefs. It was Jameis. Jameis was all over, man, and I loved every bit of it. So I mean, for me,
mhm.
it must be nice. It must be nice having these things because we don't have that. We got McDonald's at home. We
Yeah.
can't go out.
But yeah, like looking at the Bucks, I feel like looking at the division, I'm gonna get a Bucks. They deserve to be the front runner. I think the Bucks, if you ask me, I think the Bucks like the fourth best team in the NFC, like all together, like on paper right now, if they healthy. But I got Detroit over them, Philly over them, and like the Rams. But like I think the Bucks gonna be a good team. Um, I think I like what Atlanta did. I hate trading a future first round pick like they did, but I like I like what they did in the draft. They attacked all defense. They got them an edge rusher or two edge rushers, a nickelback that's gonna play immediately, and a starting safety that's gonna play immediately. Like all them dudes gonna play. Um, and they already have the offense. Now you're gonna need Michael Penix to he really gotta perform like that, but they already got the pieces on offense. The biggest question mark for the Falcons on offense is obviously Penix gotta perform. But other than that, it's what Kyle Pitts. Like they got what you want. They got the wide receiver two that can complement Drake London, the big slot. They got one of the four best running backs in the league. They got a very good offensive line. Like they got what you want. Even on defense, they got like player like AJ Terrell's a very good corner. Jesse Bates is a great safety. Like it's just up to them young dudes. And then Carolina, like you just like the momentum that they ended the season with. Like how I'm saying we're gonna be a bad team. Like in 2 years from now, like say in the 2026 season, I would want us to look even if we got a bad record, I want us to finish the season in a way in which Carolina finished the season where I know they was 5-12, but if you watch them games, other than that Cowboys game, for like the last 10 games of the season, they played everybody tough. They played Philadelphia harder than anybody other than that one game that that Washington beat them in. But like Carolina played Philly tough on the road. Like that's kind of what I would want to be in 2 years from now. But like I can see Carolina growing. They added some good pieces. I thought I thought they kind of overdrafted T Mac, but for them, they did need that type of player. But like I just think everybody in the division looked like they on the come up, and the Saints they just hit the bottom, and they trying to if they drowning, they just trying to get to shore pretty much.
It's
But
not
everybody
it's
else
not
looking
just the
up.
division. It's not just the
But
division.
I know that's what I'm saying.
It's
The
the
whole
whole
league.
NFC. Like when you think about like it Chicago's still building. They got to rebuild a little bit, but at least they got the pieces there. But outside of that, damn near every team in that division is a capable contender. The 49ers are the only team in the NFC West right now. I think the Seahawks are going to build something, but they like I think they could take a step back. But you still got two teams over there because the 49ers injury. They started already. I think Greenlaw gonna miss like most of the season
Oh no,
already.
Greenlaw, they let him go. They let him
They let him
go.
go. Who's the
Yeah, but I
linebacker
do.
they got
But
that just got
if
hurt?
you
They just had one. He just got hurt.
nah,
Like recently.
Greenlaw went to Denver. He had a little strain, but they try to say it was serious. It's not serious. But like what I'm saying is, like even the 49ers, if you think that they Super Bowl window closed, if you're telling me the 49ers healthy this year, they can still make the playoffs. Like
Yeah, I don't know who I recently saw like one of their players or whatever like that, and I could be wrong about it, but one of them that was like might miss significant time this season,
yeah,
and he like injured already. It was Greenlaw.
It was Greenlaw, but Greenlaw played for Denver now.
That's
And
It
it's
wasn't him
not
crazy.
then.
nothing serious.
It
Yeah.
it wasn't him. It wasn't him then. It wasn't him. What's the other linebackers they got over there?
It's not Fred Warner.
No, it's not Warner. It's not him. One, I can't. I wish I could still do it on, and I don't have my other phone with me right now. I wish I could still pull it up, man. There's like I just saw a report that like one of their linebackers or somebody got hurt and could miss significant time. So their injury bug starting already this year for them, and they still got to figure out what they're gonna do with Purdy. And I think that could permeate through the locker room. Anyway, either way, you look at the NFC West. You still got to deal with San Francisco if they if they can stay healthy. The Rams are going to be there. I definitely think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be better this year. And of course, then there's the Seahawks that are building. But even when you keep going through, like you look at these teams, man, the NFC East, you got Dallas, who they're probably the bottom feeders in that division, but you still got the Commanders and I'm sorry, the Eagles or whatever like that, and the Giants might be the bottom of the barrel. Shit,
Yeah, the
and even
Giants
the
the bottom
Cowboys.
feeder, but
So
but the
I
Cowboys,
mean, but
like even if
still,
you're telling me the Cowboys healthy, like they not gonna
I-
be bad.
right? They're not gonna be like they'll still believe that they're in contention. I mean, fuck, they think they're gonna win the Super Bowl every year. But it's just the point that when you look at the NFC South, you can look at the NFC as a total thing and look at the rest of the divisions and say, you know what, where do the Saints fall in place? And you have
They
to look
by
up and
far
be
the
like,
worst
damn,
team.
the worst team, man. And that's why I'm like, if they're the worst team in the entire NFC, then I think they're not going to do a damn thing in the NFC South. And it's not me just trying to be negative. It's just me looking at it and saying, what have they done to improve to a point to where you can say, nah, man, be you tripping? They really are going, they're going to ball out next year. I believe in them. And I think they got these delusional ass Saints fans that put on the black and gold goggles and have convinced themselves to pump and run ride themselves into thinking the Saints going to be good. And if they are, all right, cool. But more likely than not, you're wrong. And you're just gonna have your delusional ass at them games, spending all that money, being upset, crying in your damn beer, talking about how you can't believe the Saints are still garbage. What made you think they weren't gonna be?
Even got some fans like Q coming to the other side.
Man, when somebody like Homer Q come back and be like, man, I don't know what they doing, bro. I'm just depressed right now. That's when it's bad because Q will lie to himself all the time and be like, we right back, baby. I saw the last time, man, and like, even though I've been off Twitter, I still kind of been around a little bit. I seen Q maybe about 2.5 months ago post one of his mock drafts, and you would have swore that boy. I mean, he was all excited, man. If we could hit, I'm like, brother, do you realize who you're talking about? You're talking about Mickey Loomis. This shit ain't happening. Relax. And now my boy probably on the edge right now. He probably somewhere
That's
in
that.
Homer
Hey
about to
man,
jump in the bayou.
that Shuck pick hurt him. He was hurt, man. I had a little tweet making fun of him. The tweet off life when he's like, I never thought we'd see the day old Ray Gibson give up hope. Like that he felt like that, bro.
Yeah, I had a tweet too. I said, when the dude got the little thing around his neck and it say first time, I was like, oh, you look like he became one of them, those type of fans, that side of the fan base. I mean, yeah. But
I would love to run a spaces soon just so Q could come up in there, man, and I can hear him, bro. Because I'm pretty sure he got some therapy he need to get off his chest.
Man, yeah, man. They had when they made that pick, I put my phone down, but I could kind of and I cut all the volume down on the space, but I had cut the volume down, but like the space for some reason, if you in the spaces, it'll like put it up one notch. I can hear um low tweeting and having that rant that it went viral all over Twitter and TikTok, and I was just like, that Shuck pick, it just it got it
It
out of
moved a lot of
everybody.
people, man. It moved a lot of
But
people.
look, I just seen something. He made a little post about being excited to be drafted. He already started off better than Derek Carr as far as the PR thing. I give
as
him
long
that
as you don't
credit.
go to Chipotle, just don't go to Chipotle. Who your NFL comp for Chuck, Marlon?
Man, I ain't seen Shuck say. I ain't seen somebody say Shuck can be like Herbert. I didn't see because that was his backup. He used to be Herbert backup. I didn't see somebody say Herbert. I ain't seen another nigga say Golf. I didn't see Carr. I didn't see Phillip Rivers. I didn't see Matt Ryan. I'm just gonna let the dude play, man. Just we gonna find out what it is.
And the thing is, we gotta find out quick because it's
Oh
age. We
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
find
That's what
out
I'm
quick.
saying. That's why,
That's a good
like
thing.
I was saying, like I know people got some people got their feelings on Rattler. I thought Rattler got dealt. He didn't get dealt the best hand last year at all. Probably the worst hand with the injuries and all that. But like, you know, this regime or this coaching staff ain't take him. And fifth round picks do not. It don't matter what they get thrown into. Like you a fifth round pick, you not about to get like at least like a second round pick. They gonna get a year. Now a year, maybe two, but they gonna get at least a year to show it. A first round pick gonna get 2 to 3. If it's like Josh Rosen, it's gonna be just a 1 year thing. But like fifth round picks, no matter the circumstances, they not getting. Oh well, he played with this and he played with that. So maybe Rattler, maybe Rattler just get it out the mud and like he just looked like what Dak Prescott did, where you undeniable in that with Dak Prescott in 2016 in the preseason, where you just undeniable. But like it's kind of curtains on him, in my opinion. But maybe he just different.
Even if he is undeniable, they gonna have to justify that pick at 40
Yeah,
and start Shuck. That's the crazy thing. And the fans, but at least Kellen Moore already stated he ain't gonna be doing that stuff that Dennis Allen did when they didn't want announce a
oh
QB2
yeah,
or something like that. He said he ain't doing that. So it's gonna be very interesting. This
yeah.
this gonna be
I think
crazy.
Rattler should at least be the. I think Rattler gonna be the two. Now I kind of want to see what they do as far as the third guy, or at least maybe bring in like a either it's an old guy that's cheap because I don't think Jake Haynes should be on the team, but that's just
Mhm.
me. I don't know if y'all feel the same, but
I mean, I wouldn't mind Jake Kane on the team if we get rid of Carl. I just want to get rid of Carl, though. As
oh
long
man,
as
No, we can't get rid
I
of
don't even
both
want
of
him
them.
in.
Shit, they could be a package. Like him and Jake can leave together. Since
man,
Jake gonna baby Derek anyway, they can both go. I don't like Jake either.
Mm,
But man,
yeah.
I'm about to roll soon, fam. You want me to hit up any of these questions that's in the chat real quick before I dip?
Yeah, go ahead on and hit up some that you see that you could go ahead on and knock them out, and then you could just go ahead on and end the show
I
with your
can't see
last
him
thought.
like that right now, fam. You got to tell me what it is. I can't really see him like that.
Okay, we could just run down. We could
For,
just do
for,
a quick. We could just do a quick run. Let
forgive
me
me, man. You
see.
know what I've been doing.
Let me see. I know they had a few questions. All right. 504 Coach says, B, answer me this. Did the Saints drafted any bona fide day one starters? In my opinion, I say no, and that's a travesty blown draft full of reaches.
I think certified starters. I think Banks is that. I think Banks is gonna start at left tackle. I think he's gonna be pretty good at left tackle at that. I don't think like here's the thing, man. If this wasn't the year, like with the pinning and it, like what is it? 8 out of the last 10 years they've drafted a defensive lineman or offensive lineman in the first round. If that wasn't the situation and the Saints would have drafted Banks, I don't think everybody would have looked at it and kind of threw their phone when it happened. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a justification for it. Penning has absolutely sucked. But you keep doing the same damn thing. You keep picking offensive and defensive linemen. Like, think about it, bro. Banks, first round pick. At one point, man, depending on who you had on, you can move left guard right now. But McCoy was your first pick in the second round, so that's like a first round pick. Cesar Ruiz, first round pick. Ryan Ramchick was a first round pick. Trevor Penning, first round pick. You picking all these dudes in the first round, and your offensive line is still shitty. Same thing with the defensive line. You picking Peyton Turner first round. What the boy 2 first, man? That's out of here now, man. Davenport first round. Like you picking all these first round dudes, and they absolutely shitty. So it's like that's the problem. I mean, I think under any other circumstances, Banks will be considered a legitimate pick. I think because of what the Saints' history is, it looks a little bit worse. But I think that's your certified starter. Now, I do think, as Rainey has said, man, Maul has said, man, I think Nick was the first one on it. It's more likely than not that Shuck is your starter. So that's your two. But other than that, if you want to talk about like a dude that I believe is a real starter, is Banks. And I think he's gonna play well.
All right, Booker R says, "Welcome back. B wins the next spaces."
Salute, man. If it's not tomorrow, bro, y'all know for sure. But if it's not tomorrow, it's gonna be Thursday for sure. More likely than not, tomorrow around 6 p.m. is probably when it's going down.
Hmm. All right. Walkenstein says my guy be back, and Walkenstein also said what Foster do that's racist.
He went to Jesuit. If you know, you know. Not to mention
I
that, but it's sometimes it's the company you keep. Anytime I see somebody, all teeth when they come being around John Gruden, and we know John Gruden history, and then you had, Derek Carr, Derek Carr, who I feel like anytime he throw a football to Spence, not anytime he throw a football to Chris Olave, that's a racist act.
I don't really see any more questions, directed to you, but you can go ahead on and get your final thoughts before you leave out the show and go ahead on and tell them where they can find you at Footer Spaces.
Hey man, look, I'm back on my regular account. Well shit, I don't know which account this is at this point, but it's gonna be Battle Rap Bets. If like I said, if it's not tomorrow, and y'all gonna, I'm gonna hit it up, man, early enough for everybody to know. Battle Rap Bets on Twitter, man. If y'all ain't following me, go back and follow me. I'll sparingly. I'm not even gonna tell you I'm gonna be on there like that, but I'll pop in every now and again, probably to host a space or something like that. Definitely, if like I said, if not tomorrow for 6, Thursday for 6. And I might even do double back and do 2 this week, man, just because I've been gone for 2 months or whatever like that. But I'll be popping back in and out of Twitter, man. Kind of just saying my piece. I almost slipped up the other day, man, and started to post something when it came to the Shador thing. I started to post a clip from Life when he said, "I guess we ought to teach this uppity nigger a lesson." That was pretty much the NFL GMs to Shador Sanders, but that's just me. That being said, man, I'm about to be back in effect. Battle Rap Bets spaces tomorrow, 6 p.m. If not tomorrow, Thursday for sure. But get ready, man. Get your stuff ready because it's gonna be a wild ride tomorrow when I come back.
All right, man. Go ahead on and retweet the stream for me when you get off, man. But thanks for
Uh,
coming on the stream, man.
that's what's up, man. Y'all fellas be easy, bro. I will catch y'all, man. I'm about to go blaze up and help the wife take care of these kids to get everybody ready for school, man. It's winding down, and of course we moving. So for those that don't know, your boy will be back permanently in New Orleans as of June 1 this year, man. So ain't gonna be no more me living in Colorado. It's gonna be me back being in the streets of the Indo. So if you see me, say what's up, holla at your boy, man. Let's go catch a drink. You heard me?
All
Y'all
right,
be
you got,
All
easy.
right, B.
you got Barry Knight says, "Be my brother, much love to you. No questions. I have no words for this pathetic ass team. Salute to the panel."
Salute, man. Y'all be easy, fellas. Y'all be safe out there. Be blessed. I'm out.
All right.
All right, take care, bro.
All right. All right, Marlon, I'm gonna go ahead on and let you get up out of here too, man. It's getting late. Go ahead on and tell them where they can find you at, and go ahead on and share any last thoughts you want to share about the team.
Yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter at it's Rainy though, ITSRAINEYDOE. And just starts on the team. I mean, I know people probably gonna be mad about the Shuck pick. I'm mad too, because it just feel like spinning a high pick on like a bridge. But I feel like this draft kind of feel like they not gonna say it, but it just kind of signal like a rebuild because like them not dipping into the future draft capital. And for a person like me, all I've been wanting them to do is just rebuild. And if they go that route, like we gonna be bad. But I rather, like I said, I'd rather be bad I'd rather be one of the worst teams in the league with Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler starting than win 7 games with Derek Carr on the roster or on the team playing quarterback. I no longer like removing him out the building. That already rejuvenate me. So
Mhm.
that's kind of how I feel about the whole situation. So I'm just waiting for June 1st when it come to him, and I'm hoping we get like a resolution. But I'm just at this point I'm just focused on like either probably the dudes on the team that's like 28 and under, or yeah, basically the guys on the team that's 28 and under. Like I'm just worried about them 28, 29 and under. Worry
Yeah.
about those guys. I'm not worried about how does Cam retirement tour look or Demario retirement tour look or um like Tyrann Matthew stuff like that. Taysom Hill, like I ain't gonna lie, they probably should cut him. Me personally, I don't think he's gonna be on the team week 1, but we'll see because that's a long ways away. But I'm just looking at worry about the young guys on the team and how they build because there's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of losing the next couple of years, but make it worth it. That's what all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy how the departure of a coach and a quarterback could just rejuvenate your fanhood for the team, man. Crazy
You
concept.
ain't lying.
But thanks for coming on the stream, Mo. I'm gonna go ahead and let you get up out of here, man.
All right, man. I'll be back.
All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, y'all, man. If anybody go ahead on and like the like button, go ahead on and subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you like the stream, go ahead on and hit the like button, help out the channel. I see a lot of people still in the comments section. Shout out to y'all. Let me see. Real fan says Banks starts for sure. The guy from Texas will have a good shot. I thought we missed on the safety. Should have got watched. Yeah, man. A lot of people feel like that. Real fan. A lot of people feel like the wise guy had more production, but of course he goes to our rivals. And it's crazy because Kellen Moore said that he see him playing special team a lot. So you're gonna use a 3rd round pick on a special team guy right after using your 40th pick on a quarterback with a lot of questions. That's crazy. Let me see. We got Slim South said, I think the Devin Neal pick was a steal. A lot of people like the Devin Neal pick, man. I see a lot of Elvin Kamara and Devin Neal. Like, as crazy as it sounds, like I really like his vision. I like the way he just keep on trying to get upfield. Like the dude got some legs on him, bro. He ain't just no home run hitter, but he be moving that. He be moving vertically. I really like that. Let me see. Of course, you got Jerry up in here saying F the Falcons. Let me see. We got Dana up in here. Shout out to Dana. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. It's been a while since I came back and did a live stream, man. I ain't do one in a minute. I just like to have everything, set in stone before I get back to just, doing streams. I get tired of just doing this same old scenarios, wondering what's going to happen in the draft, all these, what ifs and nah, man. I want to know what's what and then go ahead on and do a little stream. But, I'll be back with another one soon enough. Let us get some more information coming out. I'll be back with another stream in a few more days. But, man, if y'all like the stream, go ahead on and hit the like button. Go ahead on and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And it's going to be a wild ride this same season, bro. I don't expect us to do much, but hopefully if Derek Carr don't take a snap, that's a win for me. That's like a playoff win. And, if Tyler Shuck hit, then, oh, shucks. Then I ain't really tripping, I'm a Saints fan, so I'm hoping that he hit. But if he don't hit, then we got that next draft to go ahead on and get our guy that hopefully could solidify us for the future, man. Just be that franchise guy. But I'm out, y'all. Who that? And y'all stay safe out there. Go ahead on subscribe. Go ahead on and like. Y'all have a good one.